Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today, man, yeah, Stephen A. Smith stepped in it again. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So, yesterday, y'all heard the news about Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, Damon Jones, that pretty much took over the sports landscape. It was supposed to be the night where we saw Victor Wembanyama put on a fantastic show, and that was supposed to be the talk of the town. But unfortunately, this news just took over everything. We reacted to it. We did a live about it. Although it wasn't in our planned content. We already had content set up. So once that news broke, we just had to kind of modify the order in which we were doing things. So we did that and reacted to it. And I think it was the same thing for everybody. I think everybody just had to kind of adjust their day, and that's exactly what happened on ESPN First Take. And on this particular day, they had Stephen A. Smith. I forgot the other writer that was on the panel. I'm probably going to get his name as we're going on with the show. So yeah, they had the other writer. His name was. Unfortunately, they didn't list who he was in the show notes, but I've seen him before. So he was on there. Jay Williams was on there. Monica McNutt was on there, and they were essentially reacting to this story. So the way it went, I think Shams went first, then Jason Williams went after him, and then Monica McNutt went after him, and then the other gentleman whose name I can't remember at the moment, he went. And then Stephen A. Smith decided to react to the story. But in typical Stephen A. Smith fashion, he always has to make a splash, right? Now, as you guys know, Stephen A. Smith has a political talk show called Straight Shooter. And recently he got himself in a little bit of a tizzy to the point where now he has to, he put out an apology to Jasmine Crockett, and that had his audience absolutely railing, and they were going off on him. So it was hilarious to see. But Stephen A. Smith decided to take a different angle when it came to his thoughts on the matter. And instead, he started to direct his attention towards the sitting president of the United States, Donald Trump. And he said that this was something that was premeditated by Donald Trump, because Donald Trump has a bone to pick with a lot of the leagues like the NFL, the NBA, and others. So he believes that this is something that came directly from the president. So for those of you who didn't hear what he had to say, I want to play his comments for you now, and I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Stephen A. Smith yesterday here on ESPN First Take.
But there's a macro perspective that everybody has to pay attention to, and this is where I come in. We're sitting on here on the sports show doing First Take. We all know what other stuff that I do. We know what world that I live in terms of politics. How many times, for one incident after another, have I said, Trump is coming? He's coming. I'm going to say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is going to be there, looking to engage in mass deportations. The Super Bowl, disrupting things. Big night for the NBA. Wembanyama put on a show. That has now been smeared because we're talking about this story, okay? Remember, Trump has a long, long history connected to the world of sports because he had those casinos. Where do you think folks were coming half the time? I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the culture. When people want to go to a casino, when people want to gamble, when people want to party, or whatever the case may be. This was his kind of connection to that. Why am I glad you're here, Monica? Because don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list. Mm-hmm. Because when you've got all of these protests that have been going out there and people that have been protesting against him and what have you, this man is coming. He's coming. And I've been saying it for a long time. And to me, this is the latest nugget of evidence that we're talking about right here. That's not to question the legitimacy of the case. We don't know. We're all sitting up here and we're saying that we don't know. But anybody that has been around him, anybody that has talked to him, anybody that has seen his reactions from the sports leagues and the positions that people have taken, they are not surprised at what's going on today. I'm watching a press conference with the director of the FBI. Yeah. Tell me when we've seen that. We've seen people, we've seen accusations before. We've seen athletes get in trouble with the law before. You don't see the director of the FBI having a press conference. It's not coincidental. It's not an accident. It's a statement. And it's a warning that more is coming. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're saying here. And everybody better, I'm just telling you, it's as serious as it gets. This ain't the platform for me to get into it the way I'm going to get into it. But I've been saying he's coming. He's coming because in his eyes, folks try to throw him in jail. In his eyes, he's innocent. They try to put me behind bars. I'm getting everybody. He's not playing. And so this, in a lot of people's eyes, talk to people in the NBA, talk to people in the NFL, talk to people in the world of sports. They think this is like the tip of the iceberg. These are the kind of words that are coming out of people's mouths. It's not a surprise. It's very disheartening. It's very concerning. We don't know where this is going to go. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Everybody's better brace themselves because he's coming.
Excellent. So you heard what Stephen A. Smith had to say there. So we did a live show about it. I think we kind of echoed some of his thoughts or whatever. But apparently not everyone was a fan of what he had to say. Right. And one of those people was the FBI director himself, who actually spoke when they were giving out the indictment. And he was on Fox News later on in the day, Kash Patel. And he has a clip that was going viral where he was essentially asked to weigh in on what Stephen A. Smith had to say as to why he feels all of this went down. And when it came time for Kash Patel to respond to this NBA scandal and respond to Stephen A. Smith, he basically said that was the dumbest thing he's ever heard from anyone in modern history. So what we're going to do is we're going to play what FBI Director Kash Patel had to say in response to Stephen A. Smith's comments on First Take, and we're going to come back and react to what he had to say. Take a listen to him here.
Street. By the way, this was so wild. Stephen A. Smith, the sports commentator, suggested that this was revenge from the president for all the kind of left-wing activism of the NBA. Your response to that, 15 seconds.
I'm the FBI director. I decide which arrests to conduct and which not to conduct. That may be the single dumbest thing I've ever heard out of anyone in modern history, and I live most of my time in Washington, D.C. It's right up there with Adam Schiff. We arrest people for crimes.
So you heard this, so you heard what he had to say. What are my thoughts on this? First of all, the director is saying, look, this isn't a politically motivated thing that went down. We were just trying to serve justice, and it seems like these guys were, the mob and these guys and Chauncey Billup and others and the other 30 plus people that were named or arrested rather. There was some dirty guys, right? But Stephen A. Smith, always looking to make headlines, decided to say no, that he believes that this is the president sending a message to the leagues, because for him to have the FBI director there during the press conference talking about it's all about messaging. And then I think Jay Williams kind of echoed what he had to say, but in a different way. Jay Williams was essentially saying, look, there's a lot of he said there are billions of illegal dollars circulating throughout the system. So why are we focusing on 10 or 20 or 30 or whatever $1 million with a situation like this? So they kind of gave their thoughts about that. What are my thoughts on this? Look, I think it's hilarious, right? Because Stephen A. Smith is currently in the process of being kicked out of MAGA. He had made his entree and made some headway within the MAGA movement with a lot of the grifting that he was doing. People like Patrick Bet-David had him on his show. Sean Hannity had him on his show. And I think that a lot of these conservative guys thought that he was one of them. But I told you, did not tell y'all, Stephen A. Smith is doing back the switch up, right? Because later on, he actually went on his show, Straight Shooter, and he really doubled down. Like, he really tried to distance himself from all of this. He doubled down on the sentiments that he gave on First Take, but he's like, I want no part of this. This is nothing to do with me, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, Stephen A., so you going back to the left? What's going on, right? So, to me, man, I think this is just Stephen A. Smith. I think he felt like, look, I want to give you guys a macro perspective, to use his words, on the issue. And he's saying that a lot of people that he's kind of mingled with within the political world are saying that, no, this is the president really trying to get at these leagues, right? And obviously Kash Patel is going to say no, because you don't want to make it look like the president is targeting certain groups or people or whatever it is. So obviously he's going to have that pushback, which made sense, right? He's going to say that. But I guess Stephen A. Smith went too far. But guess what? I think this is going to work out in his favor again. Do you know why? Because, of course, you can bet your bottom dollar. Of course he's going to go on this show and do a show responding to Kash Patel, because Stephen A. Smith loves the attention, bro. He absolutely relishes in it. So I'll look forward to hearing what he has to say later on tonight and watching the people in his comment section roast him. Just great stuff. So you guys let me know what you think about this. Whatever you think, leave your thoughts in the comments and we catch you on the next show. Peace.